Welcome, everyone. This is Dan Bronson. Okay. All right, awesome. Welcome to the Digital Transformation Room, sponsored by Schema App. This is Google Analytics 4 Gaps and How to Fill Them with Dan Bronson. Dan Bronson joined as a partner at Impacts in 2018 and leads their digital marketing, SEO, and analytics practices. He serves as a U.S. Army National Guard with 20 years of service and 2 overseas deployments. Dan earned his first Google certifications in analytics and ads in 2013 with a leading digital marketing agency providing services to both B2B and B2C clients. He became passionate about improving the online businesses of industrial distributors while working as an e-commerce manager for an industrial distributor based in Dallas area. His career includes 17 years of experience across digital marketing, business analytics, web analytics, SEO, IT infrastructure, and system integrations. Please welcome Dan Bronson.
Thanks for the intro. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I do a whole lot in IT, a lot of background, but my passion is really on the digital marketing side. So hope to, and I've done a lot of Google Analytics. Hopefully I can answer some of your questions at the end and show you some things I've learned along the way. Have a bunch of customers and a bunch of clients that we've done Google Analytics. It used to be called Enhanced E-commerce Tracking. When it was Universal Analytics, they did away with that name with Google Analytics 4. But we still kind of sell it in 2 tiers. One's more basic and the one's enhanced. But I have a lot of clients on enhanced, and there's some pain points, I'm sure, as you've all heard, on Google Analytics 4. So I really thought this would be something good. It'll show some of the lessons learned that I've found and can, help you all out. And hopefully I answer some of your questions in that. And then if there are questions that I don't answer at the end, I'd like to circle back with you and help get those answered for you. Let's see. So I'm going to press the button. There we go. All right, so here's our agenda. And I'm going to start out with some questions. All right, so I don't know if you all have ever done one of these on Slido. This one's just to kind of get us kicked off, right? So I like to have a presentation where y'all are involved. I'm asking you questions. It's some feedback. So if you scan this QR code, you'll be able to answer, and your answers will show up real time. So this one's, I have a tester to get you engaged and to test you out so that you know how to interact with them. I have 2 more after this. All right, 3. Good deal. I know I'm probably at about 4 right now, but yeah. Good deal. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we've got good coffee in the back. There have been good snacks, but I know it's the end of the day, one of the last sessions. So everybody probably stayed out a little late last night. All right, I'm going to go to the next one. Thank you. All right, and this one's going to be a word cloud. So scan it and then answer kind of like you just did. And those who answer, so if you see an answer up there that you agree with or that you also would answer, then it'll show that. And if you select that, it'll show up a little bit larger. So GA4, Cognos, nice. I know there's a whole lot out there. Some people might be using Adobe. It just kind of depends on the size of your business to what you have and what you're utilizing. Let's see. Adobe Cognos. NA, none. Okay. And I know that because of the backlash on GA4 and the whole of the transition, a lot of people started moving to other platforms. And I've liked to stay on GA4. There's been a whole lot of things with it, but when I have people ask me what is a reason that you would stay on GA4 over going to anything else? Well, if you're going to do AdWords, doing marketing like that, Google Analytics is really the best for integrating with Google Ads. Now, others can do it. There's some out there that'll do it, but they're really the best for that. All right. And then currently, what are your biggest concerns with GA4? If you have some that come to mind. Yeah. Setting it up to begin with. Yeah.
It would have been nice if they had just ported over what you had in some form of fashion.
Yep.
Instead of everybody having to start from scratch.
Yep. I agree. So ease of use. Data validity. All right. So we have data validity. It's half baked. Yeah. Ease of use, lack of familiarity, data retention, data accuracy. Yep. A lot of it's half baked. All right. So, and ease of use. So let's see. All right. Get your last ones in here. And all right. So there are a few things I was going to talk about, but I can start transitioning to those while we're still punching some in here. So the main reason why Google moved and shifted was because of privacy. And I know that, now there's, you see at the bottom of a lot of websites you go to that ask you permission to collect information on you, right? And the reason for that are because there's a lot of additional regulations we're expecting to come down from what is already there, right? So there's GDPR in Europe, and then California has laws, Virginia has laws. There's a lot of laws out there right now pertaining to data privacy, and there are more coming down. So Google had to react to that, and they knew it was coming. There's also the third-party cookies are probably going to go away. It's been stated that they will, and you can see that in browsers, they're really restricting how you can utilize a lot of the data, what you can do with cookies, and how you can use that data. So in that way, I would also say that Google is a good one to go to, especially because if you're using AdWords and you're using analytics, it's all within the same ecosystem. So they'll still be around, right? Whereas others, if you have an analytics platform and you send that data to Google Ads or vice versa, now you're crossing platforms and you're crossing companies, and that's a lot of what's going to be limited in the future as far as tracking information. Let's see. All right, so this is the slide where I go into what the different changes are. So there's a lot of machine learning involved. Now I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to see that are some of the disadvantages, some things that get hidden when Google utilizes machine learning to show you what's going on. But by removing the tracking on the sites where you can't track as granularly, now they're using event-based data, not session-based. And so then they use AI to help try and tie it all together. So I'm going to go into the back end and show you some of that. And there's some tricks I've learned specifically on that. Let's see. And I'm also going to show you a few things. I'm just going to jump into the back end and show you some things that I also like about it that could kind of, could help guide you all through some of I'm going to show you some of the templates that they have already built in, whereas a lot of it just came out of the box. Now you have to do a little more work to get there. And if you're familiar with the templates that are on the back end, there really is a lot of powerful stuff there. And I'll show you some of the great e-commerce tracking reports. So it depends on your client base. Who all have clients that y'all are doing marketing for? Okay, about half the room. And then raise your hand if y'all are doing marketing for your own business. Okay, sounds good. So a little different perspective on some of this. I'm not used to using a mic like this, so we'll see. There we go. I got it. Let me change and duplicate my screen here. All right. All right. So here, let's see. Actually, thought I was on a different screen. So on this screen here, you're able to track promotions, and one sec. going to show you all different reports. So what I'm going to show you is that is where they go and they throttle back the data they show you because because Google has utilized AI to present the data, and then how to turn that off so that you can get at the rest of the information. And there's like a switch that you can flip on and off to see data or not to see data based on their attribution models. So in here, and I'm also showing an example of a report that I was originally going to go in and show all the steps on how to create this report, but I realized that that'd be a little tedious, right? But one of the reports that I really wish that I could get in Google Analytics 4 out of the box is the zero search results report. So when someone's searching on an e-commerce site, it's really important to understand when they search and they get zero results, because that allows you to look at your product data and see, okay, so they're searching on hard hats. I'm not selling hard hats. Well, I need to sell hard hats, or that type of thing. You're able to go and figure out what's the right marketing mix of your products. So for my clients, that's really important. And you could apply that to any industry for searching on your website, and you want to be able to track that. So tracking search is easy, but tracking zero search results is difficult in Google Analytics 4. So in this report right here, you're able to see these results. But if I go into the back end, and if you're using AdWords and you're using retargeting audiences, this would be an important thing to understand and to look at. So it's this switch right here. Include Google signals in reporting identity. So when you turn it on, Google is collecting information and it's utilizing AI to identify information about the people that are on your site. So Google has always been careful about not storing personally identifiable information. So if they present things to you that are utilizing AI but are statistically not significant enough, right, then they're not going to show it. And then secondly, if you could identify who that person is with the data, they're not going to show it. So so those are some of the protections they're putting in place. So now that this is on, I go back to that report, it's not going to show up, and you'll see what that looks like. Yeah. So down here we had, and I'll switch it back again. We had search terms here. And so this is, I was working on this for a client just recently. You can see the tracking just started on 7 November. So I'm tracking the zero search results, and the real data that I want to see in this table is gone. So I look in here and it says thresholding is applied. And you'll see this across all kinds of reports when you have this turned on. But the trick is you can toggle and see the data, or toggle and turn it off. I wish they would just put it up here at the top of the screen instead of having it hidden in admin, but it is. So, so if I go back over to the admin, data collection, turn this off. Now the data is there. Right? So if you don't know that, your clients are going to say, why, you built this report and the data is not there. Why is that? So yes, I field those questions all the time from my clients, but you have to know how to work around that. Let's see. There is also another dashboard that, that I've had to work around here on the home screen. So when you first log into Google, you see there's this section right here. Let's see if this thing works now. Yeah, it does. So this section up here, they're called cards. And so that card right there, it can show zero data. And it's just a glitch that's in Google to show zero data. You can go in, you can select different options in here, but if you're showing zero information there, that's going to be a big problem for your clients. So let's Let's see. Yeah, so here's one. So right here it says incompatible request. And this is a default straight out of the box from Google, their card right here. And I've scoured the web. The best I've been able to find is that this is tied to your login. And so this is a template that comes right out of the box. Some people have the problem, some don't. If you go and create an additional account, it just might work. I have a client right now who said, hey, they're going to some executive meetings and they need this to work. And I sent them a video this morning on it. But with, I went into their account and created an admin, another admin login, looked, and theirs wouldn't show up. But for this account here, my client, industrialsolutions.com, it did work. So I'm able to go into this one right here. And this was just out of the box. It's just different account to log in with. So, there are some glitches. It's a little bit glitchy. There's some problems with it, but you've got to know how to work around these problems. And this is my, oh yeah, because it's resting on my, I'll figure it out. All right, let's see. So I had backup slides in case I wasn't able to show you those steps, but I just figured it'd be easier to show them. So I'm going through those real quick. All right, I'm going to show you the templates that are in here and show you some good reports, some things I like about this platform, right? Let's see. So here's a good one. So when you go into reports, in the Universal Analytics, there was a whole lot of information there that you could just get at and have great reports immediately. In here, they package up some of these reports on the left, and then you have a library. So in this library, there are a lot of templates, which are great. So you can go in and create collections. Each one, so business objectives, that's a collection. Life cycle, that's a collection. Users, that's a collection. So you can go create a new collection. You can create new reports. And they have templates in here that are available for you when you go create those. So I could go create an overview report. It's more like a dashboard. And then you can also create a detail report. They have all kinds of examples in here, these templates. That once I found this, it really made my life a lot easier. Most who I speak with who haven't done a lot in Google Analytics they're not aware that these are there. So if you're doing a lot of promotions or the checkout journey, this one, I go click in here, open up one of these, as I have a lot of data in here. So, and this is one that I really like. I built a more detailed report for this client on the checkout steps, but you can just go in there and pull these up and have a great starting point with these reports. So let me show you some of the good e-commerce reports that are in here. I'm going to, all right, so who all has e-commerce clients? Okay, 1, 2. All right. Just a few. So this is a report that I love because I'm able to go in and see the items that were viewed, items added to cart, items purchased, and you almost have a checkout funnel for each one of your items. And you're able to go and you can change this between item name to a brand. You can see the performance of various brands. This is a super powerful report. And then over here, you have this, this chart. They'll show you how well they're performing. So, and if the chart will change based on which of these columns I'm sorted on. So if I'm looking at items purchased versus items viewed, now it changes between, with item revenue and items purchased. But if I go to items added to cart, now I'm looking at items added to cart versus items purchased. So I can look in here and see, okay, so what's my cart abandonment for these items? And you can see that, for these items down, that are low on the purchase side, but higher on the added to cart. So there's an item called Joy. Actually, we're actually looking at brands. So you're looking at which brands have the most bounce rate on your site. That might be because of pricing, and maybe because of how you have their brand page presented. But with this, I'm able to go back and have those deep conversations with my clients, and they're able to go in and and I'm able to show them. So for SEO, sometimes it's an SEO thing. Sometimes, we're building content on that page, and sometimes it doesn't match with what they're expecting. So they type something in search. This client, they have a whole lot of visits from search, and they also do AdWords. So maybe the ads aren't matching what they're expecting, right? So, or the landing page isn't matching what they see in the ad. So these are the type of conversations you can have just off this one report here. Now, to get these implemented, as you're saying, the setup is a bit difficult. So when I go in and I'm looking at the actual item name, the item name has to match on every page. So when you're on the item detail page, when you're adding it to your cart, when you're completing the purchase, if anything changes, a character changes on this title, now you have a new line entered and it doesn't all match. So it's something that when you have a development team building this, you have to make sure and check these things. And that's one of the things I look for when my development team puts these on our client sites. Is I'll go in and take a look at, like, if I sort on items viewed. So, this was back. So these are some of the areas I have to go in and look and see, okay, so for this item right here, they weren't viewed, but they were added to the cart. How is that possible? They could have, depending on the month overlap, it could have been that they already had them in the cart and they logged back in. I have very few of those now, but we used to have a lot. So that's one of the tips I have for making sure that all this works well for you. So what I found was that that on different pages, we may pull in a different ID. Like we have the manufacturer part number instead of their part number, things like that. Or in some places, we would have an HTML character where there's an ampersand, or an and reg, or these type of things would show up instead of the actual character. So those were the type of things I'd have to go in and fix, or there would be a span, something like that would show up. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit finicky, but it's really powerful when you get it done correctly to really help your clients and really show your value to them. Let's see. Yeah, well, here's a good example right here. So I've got the paragraph HTML tag, right? I bet you I could look for the aftermarket Ingersoll Rand in here, and I'm, or this number, and I'm going to find the matching one without the paragraph. So, some things that are a bit finicky, but it's definitely on the developer side to fix those. Right. All right, I'm going to jump through some of these and get towards the bottom, and then, okay, yeah. So production and stage. And by the way, I know that, I hope y'all are getting some things out of this, and I'll ask some questions here at the end. I pulled out some of the content. I said, this is going to be too tedious, but I go in and I've got a lot of, detail oriented things I'm doing in Google Analytics. One of them is that I noticed that we would, in the environment I'm working in, we have a stage site and we have a production site. It's not like WordPress where you can just go and make the edits and click a button and it promotes it to production. Or we actually have we have a code base we have to move. So when you move a code base from stage to production, and you have a Google Analytics tag, there's a lot of messiness could happen. Is you can go in and say, okay, here is our Google Analytics tag, and I'm going to put it in Stage. Well, now you're pulling in Stage data into your production Google Analytics profile. You don't want to do that. So now you're getting messy data. The alternative is wait until the site goes live and then put the tag on there, but then you have a gap where you're missing information. So I went in and said, okay, how do I bridge the gap between these two? And what I found was there's a way of doing a lookup table. So I'm going to show this one in the slides. Let's see, actually, let me do this so I can see it a little bigger. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay, so what this is, this GA4 tag, now I'm in Google Tag Manager to give you context. And in Google Tag, you don't have to use Google Tag Manager to do Google Analytics, but if you're going to do a lot in Google Analytics 4, you want to use Tag Manager. So I'm in Tag Manager, and this is the standard tag for tracking. This is the main tag that you put on your site, right? There's a whole lot more you can do, but this is the first tag you put on anybody's website right here. Now, in this tag ID, typically you have your Google Analytics ID right there. Instead, I use a variable. And then I have a lookup table. So let's see. Okay, so here I'm illustrating in Google Analytics that I have different environments, that I have the McCombgroup.com, and then I have that's the Universal Analytics one. I have the I have the Macomb Group GA4. That's the GA4, and then you have the GA4 Stage site. So you're going to have multiple profiles in Google Analytics, and then we're going to send the data to the Stage profile when you're in Stage. And for us, we keep the Stage site up after we go live, and we keep working in it. We keep promoting things. So it's still good to have that information. But I have two different profiles. Okay, so here's the lookup table. It's pretty simple. Here I've got, so in here, I use both the www and the non-www. And here's the output. And then I use set default. So I had some problems with putting the Stage site URL in here and having it go correctly to this guy. And I found out that if I use the default tag, then it works better. But using this mechanism, when anybody goes to the Stage site, all of the tracking, any of the tracking you have, all your tags, everything's going to be implemented on that Stage site. And also on your production site. And when you go and shift things from Stage to production, you don't have to worry about it. It's all done for you because you only have one tag. So what this is you're putting the one the GA4, the Google Tag Manager tag on the site on both Stage and production, the same one on both sites. And so when you go and move code, you don't have to switch it out. And you don't have to say, okay, now that we're live, I'm going to put the tag on the site, or worry about having bad data going, from Stage into production. So this way you have one tag, it simplifies it for your developers. They don't have to worry about it. You give it to them one time and you don't have to go do any updates on the back end of your site, which is one of the nice things about GA4, are all the different things you can do without needing to engage your development team. So this simplifies it a lot. It's a bit complicated, a little bit to set up at first. And I'll make sure that they do get these slides and send them out to everybody so you can reference this. But this has worked great for me and has really avoided a lot of complications with my development teams. And when I work with different agencies, different marketing agencies, they all start picking this up and using it too. And I have a development team, and I've done a lot of digital marketing. So when my clients, he's a different digital marketer than me. I have a good relationship with him, and I'll show him this stuff and say, hey, because it simplifies it for me and my development team, that we don't have errors, and neither do they, and it really helps. So, okay, self-tagging. So this is one where I'm on the next slide. I've got the links on how to do some of these things. And so you can get these slides and utilize them. I'm going to show you how I use a tool to get the CSS off the site easily without me needing to go into the back end. And inside Tag Manager, you can go in and create your own trigger and your own tags. And I'm not going to go into all that because that's probably a little bit much unless y'all want me to. I can do that here in a little bit. But I'm going to show you how I use this tool to tag the site. Let's see. And I realize switching between screens is not the most elegant way to do this, but to demonstrate, there's not a much better way. All right, so this tool right here, it's Copy CSS Selector, and you can get that from the Chrome web extensions. Instead of, I've worked with developers for a long time, and I've done development in the past myself, so I understand how to get the CSS selectors. But I've shown this to my clients, and now they're able to do a lot of this themselves. So when I'm going to go in, and I want to track how often they click on. This is a banner that. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I thought it was showing. Oh, I hit extend instead of duplicate. Okay, now I'm on the wrong. Okay. So for simplification, so this is a banner that you could click on, and then you just go right click and click copy the CSS selector. And then if I go into pull up, I'll show you what it copied over. All right, so this is what it copied. I can zoom in on that. It's really tiny up there, huh? Let's see. That make it any better? No, that's not the zoom. Hold on. The div. So it's got the div hashtag slider 0_container space img. So what this does is when I go in and create a tag in Google Tag Manager, then I can go and reference that, and so that it triggers anytime somebody clicks that. So let's see. And if y'all are new to Tag Manager, I always, inside my client's workspace, I always make sure and put my own business's name as a workspace name. So that way you don't, get things mixed up between what you're doing on the, they may be doing something, may have other businesses in there. So they always know that that's ours, and you don't get stuff mixed up. But so if I go in and create a trigger, so I can go in and show you guys one. Let's see. Let's create a trigger. So I'm going to have it, let's see. I'll pull up one I already did, but let's see. So I could talk about a lot of these different ones, but let's see. The click on all elements and then some clicks. And so then if the click all these variables. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Click ID, click target, click text. So yeah, here we go. So if the click ID contains this, then it'll let's see, matches the CSS selector. So I click does match. So what this is able to do is then anytime you have the click on that banner, then you're able to trigger off of it. So, and then on the other side, I can show you all how you can match that up inside Google Analytics to trigger things off. Now, in Universal, you could do this in Tag Manager just like this, but so this isn't really a difference between GA4 and Universal, but in Analytics on the back end side, you actually can go in and do a whole lot more on the events automatically in here. Let's see. So if you want to go have a conversion event, you can go in. And of course, it's not going to show the data, but you can tie the two together. I know I'm not doing a great job of demonstrating that, but I can go on the side and sit with y'all and show y'all, step y'all through on your own site or on others on how to utilize that CSS selector and to be able to kick off events and show conversions. I know that last part was a little bit rough, but what questions do y'all have? I'm sure that there's some out there. What you got?
Well, I think with this one, like, what are some of the advantage of using the CSS as a trigger, like you were discussing? I'm sure you mentioned at some point, but it might have gotten lost in all of that.
Okay, so the advantage is that you don't have to go in and ask your developer to do work. It takes a little bit more upfront of understanding of how to apply it, but what I've done for years is go into the back end and say, okay, when this happens, I need to trigger something, and you go have jQuery or different things that go and trigger off of the click. And this way, it's all done in Tag Manager. And the main thing is you don't have to go involve the developers, but it takes a little bit of more expertise on your side.
But like do some of that versus like let's say tracking pages, button clicks, and things like that.
Yeah.
Is it that we're trying to like look for clicks in certain areas that don't have like a normal call to action, or like for example, like why would you use like a banner image like you showed?
Yeah. So you're asking the differentiation between other types of clicks and that specific one?
Yeah, like using CSS like that.
Yeah.
You click the banner, for example.
Right. Yeah. So, and you can go into the back end and identify the clicks, and there's some other ways of doing it. But with the CSS, I found that it's more exact, and I've had some problems with double clicking and these type of things for double tracking. So, it kind of depends. Yeah. What else? What you got?
You showed that button and it's turning off the
Yeah,
signals.
yeah.
Well, why would you want that, to not show data? Why would you want to have to go back?
Good questions. I didn't explain that well. So, Google goes, and what that button is really doing is it's taking the data that they have from various sources, right? So they've got, when you go in and you say, I'm going to log in with my Google account, right? Now Google, you've authorized Google to track your profile, and they're able to identify more information about you. And so when you turn that on, the real power behind that is then you can build audiences for Google Ads, is why you want it on. But when you do that, what it's doing is you can say, so how have I used it for abandoned carts, right? So I'm saying, okay, if you go into the cart and you abandon the cart, Now I can track that. And with that being turned on, I could build like audiences. There's a lot of things I can do with it. Where if I turn it off, now I don't have that ability to track that audience. So when you build an audience and then you're able to go and match that up with Google Ads and send ads out to that audience. Whereas if you turn it off, you're not going to be able to build an audience in the same way. Yep. So, and that's where they're used to, right? With Universal Analytics, you had a cookie and a session that was tied to, and now we have events. And so they take those events and they build AI behind them to match up the audiences. So I don't know, did that answer the question? Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. What else y'all got? What let's see. So let's see. So those who are doing analytics on for your own business, or you're doing marketing for your own business, what type of businesses do y'all have? I think home services. Okay, nice. Good. So, yeah, what manufacturing? I think or is it wood? Yeah. Okay. Like wood floors. Okay. Okay. What's the brand? NWH. Okay. All right. Who else? Web hosting. Nice. Okay. So I'm trying to think of like what. So for y'all, inside your business, y'all are going to be tracking and probably doing reporting on the, do y'all sell on your websites? You sell directly on your website? No. Any type of e-commerce? No. No. Wait. Okay. Like to though. All right. What about? Do you track? So what I find with a lot of my clients before they talk to me, they do get a lot of phone calls off their website, but they don't know how many phone calls they get. There's CallRail. There's a lot of different tools out there to be able to track that stuff. So that's one of the things that you could start tracking and then show that in Google Analytics on how you're getting the phone calls and those type of conversions. See, there's also a lot of information that, do you all have distributors that you send your things to, or no? Is your brand bigger than your distributors' brands? For yours, yeah. Like, do people search on your brand? So they don't know. Okay, gotcha. Right. Well, why I was asking that is that a lot, bigger brands like 3M, they have programs where they will gather a lot of the information about those who visit their site and where they're coming from and the keyword tendencies, those type of things, and they can help pass it down to their distributors. And then also if you have a lot of traffic on your site as a brand, then you can help do where to buy programs, that type of thing, to help pass the love down to your clients. But and then it comes back to you, so it's pretty good. Let's see. So for garage doors, you probably have people. You have certain neighborhoods that y'all work in and are mainly focused on. Do you get a lot of word of mouth, or like how do y'all market? Okay. Okay, nice. All kinds of good advanced stuff then. That's that's clicking on the phone. But what about calling? They punch the phone number in on their phone. Okay, you do that too. Okay. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Try to think. And then for the metal roofs, y'all y'all are probably really B2B a whole lot, right? So you have sales or no? B2B and B2C both? Okay. One of the things I've seen with a lot of my clients is matching up the data that's on the site and they've been able to gain traction with their sales teams when their sales teams were often, not keen on the website and selling on the website and having those integrations or, promoting the site with the clients because they were worried about losing sales themselves. But when they started going in and utilizing tools to share with their sales teams, hey, that they can see it's this client that's on the site and they're looking at these products, but you hadn't, but they don't typically buy these products. So there's certain segments that they're buying from us and certain segments they're not. And they can grow in those and talk to them about those specifics. That's what I've seen a lot of. So, or a lot of searches before the sales call or before those big meetings. So, all right, let's see. Any other questions on any of that stuff? What you got?
So we're probably not gonna have a solution for it, but
Yeah.
so one of the issues we have is that we aren't e-commerce, but people can buy servers through a platform. But the problem is then it takes them from our site to a platform called HostBill, which is kind of like a billing inventory e-commerce style thing. And the challenge I have with it is that it's not really on our site. And when people finish the checkout process, it doesn't have like static URLs that I can assign as like a checkout page or a thank you page. So
On their site or on your site?
on their platform. So on my site, I can have URLs that I can track the journey pretty easily up to the point that they click a button to then go to that checkout page.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do as far as like Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics? Because it's a SaaS platform, so I don't have access to like, their code base or anything.
So you can do cross domain tracking where then the conversion that happens gets attributed back to your account. But they have to agree to do that.
Yeah, I should have asked a bunch. I was just curious if you on top of that, if you're doing a similar situation.
Yeah, you could also do affiliate campaign type things where they get a coupon on your site and then so they get a discount or some sort of benefit on the insight. So they type that in and you can track that came through. But all that requires coordination between them and you to get that done. Yeah. Is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I was just curious if you knew any like magical solutions like for something like that before. But yeah, I had to work with them a bit more.
Yeah, there are also other platforms where they have like a send back code where when they submit, it could kick something back to you. But that's a little more complicated. They have to have a specific platform to do that. So, but yeah, cross domain tracking. If you can coordinate with their analytics teams, you can have that set up. That's probably that's the best way, I would think. Probably the simplest way is the affiliate like codes, like a coupon or something. So.
I'd like if they just allow us to have a static domain to buy something or static URLs, because then I can just say track this URL. But I don't think I have that ability. That was the first thing I went to.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank y'all.
Here's the gift.
You've probably seen a few of these.
Yeah. Thank you very much.